Rain ticks the windshield like impatient fingers. My hospital bracelet sticks to my wrist when I sweat, plastic rubbing skin that's already raw from today. My phone won't stop buzzing, little angry vibrations against my palm, like it's trying to shake itself free. Voicemail, his voice, too calm. Don't come home, it's not safe for you to be here. Safe. The word tastes wrong. Metallic. I'm already moving before the message ends. Legs stiff, belly heavy, breath shallow like there's a hand around my ribs. My mother's porch light is on. Of course it is. Warm, welcoming. A lie. The door gives under my fingers. The house smells like lemon cleaner and old rules. I hear them, muffled, sharp, through the half-open kitchen door. My name. And my stepfather, steady as a judge. If she finds out who her real father is, we lose everything. My fingers go numb. Not dramatic numb, real numb, like my blood just decided to leave. My other hand drifts to my stomach, protective, possessive. The baby kicks, soft and unaware. And I understand in one cold, clean second. I'm not the only secret in this family. I'm 26, 7 months pregnant, and I've spent my whole life trying to make normal sit on my shoulders like it belongs there. It never does. Normal is a dress that pinches, a smile that cramps my face. "We're fine," I learned to say before I learned my own middle name. My childhood was a house of closed doors and careful voices, messy in the way nobody sees, because my mother kept the windows spotless and the stories prettier than the truth. My mom is sweet when people are watching. Sugar in her laugh, warm hands on your cheek, the kind of woman who brings casseroles to sick neighbors and gets called an angel in church hallways. But behind the curtain, she moves pieces, quietly, strategically, like love is a chessboard, and she's always thinking 3 turns ahead. My stepfather is the opposite kind of soft, polished, controlled. He wears calm the way other men wear cologne. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't have to. The air changes when he walks into a room. Rules appear out of nowhere. Your spine straightens on instinct. And my fiancé? God, he was my reminded safe place. My one honest exhale. The person I ran to when my family's care started to feel like a leash. When he held me, my body stopped bracing for impact. My best friend, Nia, says she can hear patterns the way musicians hear off-key notes. She's the only one who looks at my family and doesn't get hypnotized by the pretty packaging. She's the one who texts me things like, "Are you sure that was kindness, or was that control dressed up as concern? Tonight, in less than 24 hours, I'm going to lose him. And them. Remember that. Not because I exploded, not because I screamed, but because a single buried truth, something that should have been mine from the start, has been stitched through all of them like a hidden thread. So I'm standing here in my mother's hallway, listening to my name like it's a weapon. If you've ever been betrayed by the people who swore they loved you, stay with me, because this secret rewrote my whole life." My feet don't move. Not yet. I'm pressed into the shadow of my mother's hallway, shoulder-grazing wallpaper that still has the faint raised pattern of tiny vines. Like the house wants to pretend it's gentle. My pulse is loud in my ears. Every beat feels like it's shoving against the inside of my throat. I swallow, and it doesn't feel like swallowing. It feels like trying to push down a scream with my tongue. If she finds out who her real father is. Real father. The phrase knocks the air out of me. I've heard your father my whole life. I've heard he left, and it was for the best, and don't ask your mother about that. I've heard it so many times it became part of the furniture, like the old clock in the living room that ticks even when nobody's listening. But real father is different. It implies a fake one, an edited one, a missing page. My fingers flex at my sides. The numbness isn't gone. It's climbed up into my wrists. My palms are slick, and the cool air on my skin makes me feel suddenly, stupidly exposed. Like the house itself can see how fast I'm unraveling. I grew up on a story. My biological dad was a shadow with a bad reputation. A man who vanished. A man who couldn't handle responsibility. My mom used to say it with a tight smile, like she was proud of how little it hurt her. When I was little, I pictured him as a blurred figure walking away down a road, the way people in movies leave when they don't want to be found. I used to imagine his back, never his face. It was easier that way, safer. Then my stepfather showed up when I was 5. I remember the first time he came to our apartment. I was sitting cross-legged on the carpet with a coloring book, and I had the crayon pressed so hard it snapped in half. He stepped over my toys like he owned the place already. His shoes were clean, not just clean, intentional. Like he didn't let the world touch him without permission. He crouched, picked up the broken crayon piece, and handed it back to me like he was doing me a favor. "Careful," he said, calm, soft. The kind of soft that didn't invite closeness. My mom laughed. Too bright, too quick. She acted like his presence was a gift the universe had delivered to us, like we should be grateful to be rescued. And maybe we were. From the outside, he was a miracle. He had a business. He shook hands in grocery stores, and people lit up like they'd spotted a celebrity. He knew the pastor's name, he sponsored Little League teams, he donated turkeys at Thanksgiving. His smile in public was practiced and perfect, and it made people believe we were part of something stable. At home, stability had teeth. I learned early that the house ran on rules the way some houses run on electricity. Silent, constant, dangerous when you forget they're there. Shoes lined up, lights off by 10. No phone calls after dinner unless it was important. Important was defined by him. Don't interrupt adults. Don't speak when you're emotional. Don't embarrass your mother. The worst part was that he didn't have to punish me often. He didn't scream. He didn't throw things. He didn't slam doors. He just withdrew. His attention would disappear. The warmth would vanish from the room. And my mother would panic like she could feel the temperature drop in her bones. Then she'd start cleaning harder, smiling harder, acting sweeter like she could scrub away whatever displeased him. I learned to do the same. I became good, quiet, useful. I got praise for being mature. People love a child who doesn't need anything. When I was 12, I caught my mom crying in the laundry room. She was sitting on the floor between the dryer and a basket of folded towels, her face pressed into her hands like she was trying to hide from her own life. I stood there in the doorway, holding a glass of water I'd brought her, like I was a tiny nurse. "What's wrong?" I asked. She jolted, wiped her face so fast it was like the tears had never existed. Her eyes went bright and empty at the same time. "Nothing," she said. "Just tired. Come here." She pulled me into her arms. She smelled like detergent and perfume, two scents battling for space. Her voice went soft against my hair. "You know your dad loved you," she whispered. I stiffened, my stomach clenched, like she'd said something forbidden. "My real dad?" I asked. Her arms tightened. The word real made her flinch before I even understood why. "He left," she said. "But that doesn't mean he didn't love you. Some people just aren't built to stay." And then she tilted my chin up, forced my eyes to meet hers, and smiled. "But you're lucky, baby. You have someone who chose you." She meant my stepfather. Chose. Like I was a prize he'd picked from a shelf. Back then, I tried to believe it, because believing it made the house make sense. Believing it meant the rules were love. Believing it meant if I followed them, I'd be safe. Still, there were tiny cracks in the story. Little moments I couldn't explain. Like the way my stepfather's jaw would tighten if anyone mentioned my real dad. Like the way my mother would change the subject so fast she almost tripped over her own words. Like the way my birth certificate was always somewhere safe. And whenever I asked to see it for school forms, my mom would take it into the other room and fill things out herself. "Let me do it," she'd say. "You'll mess it up." I didn't question it. I was raised not to. Then I met Eli. I met him at a coffee shop when my laptop died in the middle of applying for jobs I didn't even want. I was staring at the dark screen like it had personally betrayed me, and he leaned over from the next table. "Hey," he said, nodding at my computer. "You need a charger? I've got one that fits that model." His voice was warm, ordinary, like he didn't practice every word before he spoke, like he didn't measure everything for impact. I looked at him, and my first instinct was suspicion, because kindness with no strings had always been a myth in my world. But he just held out the charger, eyebrows raised, waiting. No pressure. No performance. I took it. Our fingers brushed, and something in me jumped. Not in a romantic, fireworks way. More like my nervous system didn't know what to do with contact that didn't demand anything. "Thank you," I said, and my voice came out too quiet. He smiled. A real smile, not my stepfather's public one. You could see it in the way his eyes crinkled. He went back to his table like he hadn't just shifted something inside my chest. Later, when I returned the charger, he asked my name. Not for a form, not for a record, just because he wanted to know it. When I said it, he repeated it back like it mattered. I didn't realize how hungry I was for that until I tasted it. Eli was steady in a way that didn't feel controlling. He remembered small things, how I liked my tea, the exact phrasing I used when I talked about my dreams. He didn't tell me what to do. He asked what I wanted. Nobody in my family ever asked me what I wanted. When my stepfather met him, he shook Eli's hand too long. His smile was sharp. "So," he said, voice smooth. What are your intentions with my daughter? Daughter, possessive, claiming. Eli didn't flinch. He squeezed my hand under the table, gentle pressure, like he was reminding me I wasn't alone. My intentions are to love her, he said simply, to build a life with her if she wants that. My mother's eyes, Shrenway glowing. She looked like she was watching a movie she'd always wanted to be in. My stepfather nodded once. Approval, maybe, or calculation. I couldn't tell. With him, it was always hard to tell. When Eli proposed, it wasn't flashy. It was late at night in our tiny apartment, dishes in the sink, my hair messy. He knelt anyway, like the moment didn't need perfect lighting to be sacred. I don't want a performance, he said, his voice catching. I want you, every day, even when it's hard. The ring was simple, beautiful, honest. I cried so hard my throat hurt. For the first time in my life, I felt chosen the way my mother had promised. But not like a prize. Like a person. Then the test showed 2 lines. I stared at it in the bathroom, with the fan humming overhead. The tile cold under my bare feet. My mouth went dry. My hands shook. A part of me thrilled. Tiny, bright. Another part went straight to panic. Like my body had a memory of consequences. I walked out, holding the test like it was fragile glass. Eli looked up from the couch. One glance, and his face changed. What is it? He asked, voice already soft. I held it out. His eyes widened. Then, relief. Joy. Real, unfiltered. He stood so fast his knee hit the coffee table. He didn't even swear, he just grabbed me, careful with my body, and laughed into my hair like he couldn't keep it inside. Oh my God, he whispered. We're going to have a baby. I laughed too, but it came out shaky. My heart was sprinting. What if... I started and stopped. What if my family turns this into a weapon? What if my stepfather decides I've failed? What if my mother folds like she always does? What if love isn't enough? Eli pulled back, cupped my face. Hey, he said, look at me. We're okay. We're going to be okay. I wanted to believe him so badly it hurt. When we told my mother, she squealed and clapped her hands like she'd won something. She hugged me tight, her nails pressing into my back. My baby having a baby, she breathed, eyes already glossy. Oh, sweetheart, this is such a blessing. Then she pulled away and immediately started listing things. Prenatal vitamins, doctors, paperwork, insurance. I'll handle it, she said, already reaching for her phone. You're overwhelmed. Let me take care of the forms. I blinked. I can do it, I said, trying to keep my voice light. She waved a hand like she was brushing away a fly. Why stress yourself, she insisted. Just give me your information. I'll make sure it's all right. Something sour stirred in my stomach. Not morning sickness, something else. When we told my stepfather, he smiled and congratulated Eli, clapped him on the shoulder. But his eyes stayed on me, and there was no warmth there, just a flicker, like a man reading a headline he doesn't like. How far along? He asked. 7 weeks, I said. His gaze dropped to my belly, like he could already see the future. And you're sure you're ready for this responsibility? He asked, voice polite enough that if I reacted, I'd look crazy. Eli's hand slid to the small of my back. Protective. We're ready, Eli said. Firm. Calm. My stepfather nodded. Smile still in place. The kind of smile you wear when you're thinking of leverage. Later, he cornered me by the kitchen sink while my mom fussed with dessert, and Eli stepped outside to take a call. He leaned closer, voice low, like we were sharing a secret. You know, he said, children change things. Legally, financially. My skin prickled. What do you mean? I asked. His fingers tapped the counter once. Tap, tap, tap. I mean, he said, it's time you started thinking like a mother, not a girl who thinks love is enough. My throat tightened. Love is enough, I said, hating how weak it sounded even to me. He smiled wider, and it didn't reach his eyes. No, he said. Love is what people use to get you to sign papers you didn't read. My stomach flipped. The next week, my mother texted me while I was at work. Bring your ID. Also, can you send me a picture of your birth certificate? The clinic needs it. My fingers hovered over my phone. Birth certificate. Again. Always the birth certificate. I typed, I don't have it, you do. She replied immediately, right, I'll bring it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. She always said that when I should have worried. Then came the prenup. Eli and I were eating takeout on our couch, greasy paper plates balanced on our knees. It was one of those evenings where my back ached and my emotions felt like they were floating right under my skin. Eli was telling me about baby name ideas, soft, sweet sounds. When my phone rang. Mom. I answered on speaker, smiling. Hi. Sweetheart, she said, voice too bright. We need to talk about something practical, for your protection. Eli looked up. His smile faded slightly. My mother continued. Your stepfather knows a lawyer, just to make sure everything is clear before you marry. A prenuptial agreement. It's standard. My mouth went dry. Prenup. Standard. Like a wedding gift you didn't ask for. Eli frowned. We don't need that, he said, leaning closer to the phone. We're building this together. My stepfather's voice entered the call like a cold draft. It's not about you needing it, he said. It's about protecting what's already in place. What's already in place. Not who. What. My belly fluttered. Baby or nerves, I couldn't tell. I don't want a prenup, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. I don't have anything to protect. My stepfather chuckled softly. You have a name, he said. You have family connections, and now you have a child. That's complicated. Eli's hand tightened on my knee. I'm not marrying her for a name, he said, voice edged now. My stepfather's tone stayed smooth. That's nice, he said. But intentions don't matter when courts get involved. We'll send something over. Just read it. When the call ended, silence filled our apartment like smoke. Eli stared at the wall, jaw working. I hate this, he said finally. They treat you like property. I nodded, but my chest felt tight, because a part of me had always known that's what love looked like in my mother's house. Ownership wrapped in concern. 2 days later, I sat at the clinic, papers spread across my lap. The waiting room smelled like disinfectant and cheap coffee. A baby cried somewhere down the hallway, the sound thin and sharp like a warning. My mom sat beside me, flipping through forms with the ease of someone who'd done this before, too comfortable. I'll fill these out, she said, already taking my clipboard. I swallowed. Mom, I said, keeping my voice low. I can do it. It's my appointment. She didn't look up. You're emotional, she murmured. Hormones? Let me. Something inside me snapped. Not loud, not dramatic. Just a small, silent shift. I pulled the clipboard back. Her head lifted, smile still on her face, but her eyes sharpened. Sweetheart, she whispered, the way you whisper at a child in public when you want them to obey without making a scene. Don't start. Start what? Being a person. I started filling out the form anyway. Name, address, date of birth. I wrote my birthday. My mom's hand shot out and covered the page, fingers pressing hard enough to wrinkle the paper. That's not right, she said, still smiling. My breath stalled. Yes, it is, I said, voice suddenly thin. She laughed softly, like I'd told a joke. No, honey, she said, and she took the pen from my hand. It's a week later, remember? You always get confused. I stared at her. My heartbeat hammered. A week later, I knew my birthday. I knew it the way you know your own name, the way you know the taste of your childhood. Nia's voice echoed in my head, patterns, off-key notes. And then I saw Nia herself. She was standing by the water cooler, her eyes locked on my mother's hand, on the pen, on the date being changed. Her face went still, like her whole body was bracing. She walked over slowly, like she didn't want to spook whatever this was. Hey, she said, forcing a casual tone. She glanced at the form, then at me, then at my mother. My mom's smile was flawless. Nia leaned close to my ear, her breath warm, her voice barely more than air. Why would she do that? She whispered. Nia's whisper stays in my ear long after we leave the clinic. Why would she do that? It loops with the rhythm of my heartbeat. It rides with me in the passenger seat. It crawls into bed beside me and presses its cold forehead against my temple while Eli sleeps, one arm draped across my waist, like he can hold the world away from me if he just holds tight enough. But the world doesn't stay held. It leaks in through paperwork, through smiles, through my mother's sweetheart tone when she wants me small again. A week later, my mom calls and says she wants an engagement dinner. Not just dinner, a real one, table set, candles. Celebration, her voice is syrupy. I can hear the smile, hear the performance warming up. It'll be nice, she says. Your stepfather is inviting a few people, just important people, for Eli. Important people. My spine goes rigid before my mind catches up. For Eli, I repeat. Yes, she chirps like it's obvious. He deserves it. He's so hardworking. Renway. Connections matter, you know? And with a baby coming, My throat tightens on the word baby. Like even that is being claimed, folded into their plans. Eli hears the call from across the room and catches my eye. His eyebrows lift in a silent question. I force a smile I don't feel. Sounds great, I say into the phone. When we arrive at my mother's house that night, the porch light is too bright. The windows glow warm. It's the kind of scene people photograph for holiday cards. Inside, everything smells like roasted meat and expensive perfume. My mother's perfume is heavier than usual, sweet and sharp, like she's armored herself in scent. Look at you, she coos, hands fluttering over my belly as if it's public property. You're glowing. I'm not glowing. I'm sweating. The dining room is set like a showroom. Plates with gold rims, cloth napkins folded into stiff triangles, a bottle of wine breathing like it's waiting for applause. My stepfather stands at the head of the table, a host in his own kingdom. He's wearing one of his respectable sweaters, the kind that says family man, community leader, safe hands. His smile appears as we enter. It lands on Eli first. Eli, he says, voice smooth as polished wood. Glad you could make it. Then his eyes flick to me. Quick. Appraising, like I'm a detail he already accounted for. Sit, my mother urges, practically guiding me into my chair. Make yourself comfortable. Comfortable. In this house, it feels like being told to relax in a room full of glass. The doorbell rings. My stepfather's smile deepens. He looks pleased, like the night is finally beginning. That must be him, he says. Him. My mother's eyes sparkle. Eli's hand finds mine under the table, warm and grounding. My stepfather opens the door with a flourish, like he's greeting a camera. A man steps in, tall, well-dressed, confident in the way rich men are confident. He carries his presence like it's currency. Martin, my stepfather says, clasping his hand. So good to see you. Martin. Eli stiffens. It's subtle, but I feel it through our joined hands, a tiny jolt, like a wire getting live current. Mr. Hale, Eli says, standing quickly. Boss, mentor, the man Eli has mentioned with careful respect, the man whose approval has quietly shaped Eli's career. I stare at them. My tongue feels thick in my mouth. This isn't a celebration. It's a stage. Mr. Hale smiles at Eli, paternal and approving. There he is, he says. The future. The word future hits my chest like a thumb pressing on a bruise. My stepfather gestures toward the table. We thought we'd do something special, for family, for legacy. Legacy. He says it like it's holy. We sit. My mother serves food with a nervous energy that feels rehearsed, like she practiced this choreography in front of a mirror. Conversation starts light, then slides into something else. Business talk, community talk, talk that circles Eli like he's an asset being evaluated. Mr. Hale asks Eli about work. Eli answers politely, but his voice is tighter than usual. My stepfather leans back and watches, pleased. My mother keeps glancing at me like she's checking if I'm behaving. I press my fingers into my thigh under the table, nails biting through fabric. The pressure steadies me. At one point, my stepfather sets his fork down and says, Eli, I'd like a word with you. In my office. Just a moment. Eli's eyes flick to me. I want to say no, but my mouth won't open. It's like my mother's childhood rule is still sewn into my throat. Don't interrupt. Don't embarrass. Eli clears his throat. Sure. They disappear down the hallway. The house swallows them. Mr. Hale sips his wine, relaxed. My mother watches her plate like it has answers in it. Silence stretches. Then my mother reaches into her purse and slides a slim folder across the table toward me. Like it's a dessert menu. Like it's nothing. Sweetheart, she says softly. Just some things we need you to sign. Routine. I stare at the folder. My skin crawls. What is this? I ask. She keeps smiling. Always smiling. Insurance updates, she says. Power of attorney, just in case, and the prenuptial, it's standard. My stomach flips. The smell of food turns suddenly nauseating, rich and greasy. I'm not signing anything tonight, I say. My mother's smile twitches. Just for a second. Then it smooths back out. Don't be dramatic, she murmurs. We're trying to help you. Help! The word makes bile rise in my throat. Mr. Hale sets his glass down and looks at me with polite interest, like I'm an unexpected complication. My mother leans closer, voice dropping. Keep the peace, she whispers. For once in your life. Do not make this harder than it needs to be. For once in your life. As if my entire life hasn't been peacekeeping. As if my spine hasn't been bent into the shape they needed. I want to read it, I say, sliding the folder back. My mother's eyes harden. It's not necessary, she says. It's all standard language. Standard language. Standard control. I open the folder anyway. Pages. Legal phrasing. Clauses that make my head spin. Words like separate property and protected interests and acknowledgement. Protected interests, not mine. My heart pounds, my palms sweat. I glance up at Mr. Hale, trying to read him. He's watching me the way you watch a negotiation. Curious, detached. My mother's hand squeezes my knee under the table, nails pressing in. A warning disguised as affection. I'll review this with Eli, I say. My mother's mouth tightens. Eli already knows, she says too quickly. My breath catches. He does? I ask. She laughs lightly like I'm being silly. Of course, your stepfather is just making sure everything is set. With the baby coming, you need stability. Stability. Again, always their word for a cage. Footsteps return. Eli comes back first. His face is pale. The corners of his mouth are drawn down like he's holding something in. My stepfather follows, calm as ever, his expression satisfied. Eli's eyes meet mine for a split second, and then slide away. He doesn't look at me. Not really, it's like something has shifted. A hinge moved, a door quietly locked. I feel it in my stomach. A cold drop. I reach for him with my gaze, silent plea. What happened? Eli sits, clears his throat. His hand finds mine under the table, but the grip is different now. Not warm, not comforting, tense, like he's holding me in place. My stepfather resumes eating as if nothing happened. Mr. Hale smiles at Eli. You're doing well, he says. We'll talk next week. There are opportunities. Opportunities. My stepfather nods. That's what we want, for the family. Family. My baby shifts inside me, an odd rolling sensation that makes my breath hitch. I press my hand to my belly, grounding myself. Eli notices. His fingers tighten on mine. Are you okay? He asks, voice soft. It should sound like love. It should. But it feels like a lid being placed over a pot. I'm fine, I lie. Dinner continues, but my appetite is gone. I push food around my plate, the fork scraping porcelain in small, nervous sounds. My stepfather and Mr. Hale talk in low tones. My mother keeps nudging the folder toward me, smiling, urging, pressing. At one point, I stand to use the bathroom, needing air, needing distance. In the hallway, I pause. The office door is slightly ajar. Light spills out in a thin line. Voices. Low, sharp, familiar. I shouldn't listen. My feet move anyway, quiet on the wood floor. Legacy, my stepfather says. We've protected it this long. Mr. Hale's voice answers, softer, careful. The clinic files, are they secure? My blood turns to ice. Clinic, files. My fingers press into the wall to steady myself. My stepfather exhales. There's a donor file, but it's sealed. It stays sealed if everyone behaves. Donor. My mouth goes dry. My tongue feels too big. Mr. Hale says, and if she pulls records? My stepfather's laugh is small, humorless. We can't let her, he says, not now. Guarantee me that your boy understands what's at stake. Your boy. My chest tightens. Eli. Mr. Hale murmurs something I can't quite catch, and my stepfather's voice returns, firm. She's emotional, pregnant, easy to redirect. Her mother knows how. My mother. My ears ring. My vision blurs for a second, like the hallway tilts. I stumble back, heart slamming so hard it hurts. I press a hand over my mouth to keep from making a sound. I walk to the bathroom on autopilot, lock the door, and grip the sink. The mirror shows my face pale, eyes wide, mouth slightly open like I'm trying to breathe through water. Donor file, real father, a week-changed birthday. My stomach clenches, bile rises. I swallow hard, tasting acid. I splash cold water on my wrists. It doesn't help. When I return to the table, I sit with my spine rigid, my hands trembling in my lap. Eli looks at me, worry in his eyes for a flicker. Then the flicker disappears behind something else. Fear. Guilt. Calculation. My heart breaks in tiny, silent pieces. He leans close. Let's be calm tonight. he whispers. Okay, for your stress. For the baby. For the baby. My jaw tightens so hard my teeth ache. He's not telling me something. He's holding something back and calling it protection. I nod anyway because my throat is too tight to speak. The dinner ends with hugs and smiles and my mother packing leftovers like she's sending us home with love. In the car, the silence is thick. Streetlights flash across Eli's face in stripes. His hands grip the steering wheel too hard. I watch his knuckles blanch. What did he say to you? I ask finally, voice small. Eli's jaw works. He swallows. Nothing, he says, too quick. Just advice. Advice about what? My voice rises despite me. I hate how it cracks. Eli exhales, long and shaky. About being responsible, about protecting you. Protecting me. I laugh once, short and bitter. From what? He doesn't answer. He keeps his eyes on the road, like if he looks at me, he'll drown. When we get home, I go to the mailbox out of habit. Bills, flyers, a coupon for a pizza place we never order from. Then I see it. A plain envelope. No return address. No stamp logo. Just my name printed in neat block letters, like someone went out of their way to make it look official. My stomach drops. I pull it out with 2 fingers, like it might burn me. Eli is behind me, keys in his hand. What is that? He asks. I don't know, I whisper. My fingers tear it open. Paper slides out, thick, formal. A court document. My name. Not my current name, my childhood name, before Eli, before adulthood. My vision swims as I read. A court order, dated from when I was a baby. Words like sealed, petition, amendment, parentage. My breath stops. My knees go weak. Eli reaches for the paper, but I yank it back, clutching it to my chest like it's the only thing keeping me upright. My heart is pounding so hard I can feel it in my teeth, and the world narrows to one thought, hot and terrifying. They didn't just lie, they filed it in court. The paper shakes in my hands like it's alive. Eli says my name once, soft, careful, like he's approaching a wild animal. Let me see. No. The word snaps out of me before I can polish it into something polite. My throat burns with it. My ribs ache, too tight for the air I'm trying to pull in. I read the first line again because my brain won't accept it the first time. Court order. My name. A date stamped in black ink from a year I can't remember because I was barely breathing then. My fingers clamp around the page so hard my joints hurt. I feel the baby shift, a slow roll like a wave turning over. The movement should comfort me. It doesn't. It makes my fear sharper, more protective, like my body is screaming, whatever this is, it touches us both. Eli's shadow falls over the paper. Please, he whispers. Please, like he's the one being hurt. I turn toward him, and the porch light catches his face. Pale, eyes glossy. He looks like he wants to be somewhere else, like he wants to crawl out of his skin. You knew, I say. My voice is quiet. It scares me how quiet it is. Eli flinches. No, You knew something. My nails dig into the paper. You went into that office with him, and you came back different. You wouldn't look at me. He swallows. His Adam's apple bobs hard. He told me. I step closer, and the baby shifts again, my belly pressing against the waistband of my leggings. The pressure grounds me, anchors me. He told you what? I hiss. Eli's eyes squeeze shut for a second, like he's bracing for a hit. He told me something that changes everything, he says. My stomach drops through the floor. Say it! He shakes his head, small, desperate. I can't. I laugh, and it comes out wrong. A sharp, cracked sound, like glass breaking in a sink. You can't, I repeat. But you can leave me alone with it? You can let me stand here with a court order from my baby years and act like it's, what, normal? Eli reaches for me, palms open. I jerk back. The motion makes my body protest, lower back tight, belly heavy. Heat rushes up my neck. Don't touch me, I say. His hands freeze in midair. You're scared, he says, voice trembling. I'm trying to keep you calm. Keep you calm. The phrase hits like a slap. I hear my mother in it. I hear my stepfather. Calm, peace. Don't start. Don't embarrass. My jaw clenches until my teeth ache. Calm is what people ask for when they're hiding something, I whisper. Eli's shoulders sag. He said if you found out, it would ruin lives. Whose lives? I shoot back. He doesn't answer. Of course he doesn't, because the answer would be mine. I pivot and walk inside, keys still in my hand. The metal bites into my palm. I don't take my coat off. I don't sit. My body is moving on pure adrenaline. Like if I stop, I'll fall apart into pieces too small to pick up. Eli follows me, slow, like he's afraid of startling me. I go straight to my phone and call my mother. She answers on the second ring, breathy, cheerful, like she's been waiting. "Sweetheart?" My chest tightens. The word tastes like syrup poured over rot. "What is this?" I hold the court order in front of my face like she can see it through the phone. "What did you do when I was a baby?" Silence. A tiny intake of breath on the other end. That's all. But I hear it. I hear the moment her mask slips. Then her voice returns, soft and wounded. "What are you talking about?" I close my eyes. The baby presses outward, a firm nudge, and my skin stretches. My breath catches. "Don't," I say, voice low. "Don't do that. Don't pretend. I have paperwork, Mom. Court paperwork from when I was an infant." Her voice trembles instantly, perfectly timed. "Oh my God, where did you get that?" So she knows. She knows exactly what I'm holding. "Answer me," I say. My throat is tight. My eyes sting, but I refuse to cry. Tears feel like surrender. She starts to sob. Real sobs or practiced ones? I can't tell anymore. The sound cuts at something tender in me anyway. It always has. My mother crying has always been a kind of gravity, pulling me back into my role. "I did what I had to do," she gasps. "You don't understand." I grip the counter, knuckles white. "Help me understand," I say. She whimpers. "It was complicated." Complicated is a word people use when they don't want to say the truth. She inhales, shaky. "Your stepfather. He saved us. He gave you a home. He gave you a life." My stomach clenches. The baby rolls. The movement feels sudden, like even my body hates this conversation. "I didn't ask for saving," I say. "I asked a question." Her sobs slow, then her voice changes, not sweet, not crying, controlled. "You wouldn't understand," she says quietly. The sentence lands like a door slamming. My breath stutters. "What did you do?" I whisper. She doesn't answer. I hear something in the background, my stepfather's voice, low, a murmur, a command. My mother speaks again, and the softness is back, but it's thin now, sharp around the edges. "Put that away," she says. "Stop digging. You're pregnant. The stress is bad for the baby." There it is again. The baby is leash. The baby is threat. My vision blurs with sudden heat. Anger, bright and violent in my chest. Not violent like fists, but violent like fire, like destruction. Like the urge to burn down every lie they ever built around me. "I'm not a child," I say. "You're acting like one," she snaps, and the snap is so out of character it makes my skin prickle. "You're going to ruin everything." Everything. Not me, not my life. Everything. I hang up. My hands shake so hard, my phone almost slips out of my grip. Eli is standing in the living room, watching me like I'm a bomb with a timer he can't see. His face is drawn tight. "What did she say?" he asks. I turn to him slowly. My heartbeat is a drum. "She said I'd ruin everything," I answer. Eli flinches. "You see?" I step closer. "You see how they talk about me, like I'm a problem they're managing?" Eli's throat works. "I didn't want to hurt you." "But you did," I say, and my voice cracks on the last word. It's not loud, it's worse, it's honest. He swallows hard. "He told me something about your father." The air in the room shifts. My ears ring. "My father," I repeat. Eli nods once, eyes wet. "He said if you knew who he was, guarantee you'd..." He stops. His mouth trembles. "I'd what?" Eli shakes his head. "I can't, I'm sorry, I can't say it." Something inside me goes cold. It's like my heart turns into a hard little stone and drops into my stomach. This is betrayal, not dramatic, not cinematic, not a villain twirling a mustache. Just someone looking at me and deciding I don't deserve the full truth about my own life, my own blood, my own name. I stare at Eli, and for the first time since I met him, I don't feel safe. I feel managed. I feel like a file someone has stamped restricted. The baby kicks, a quick jab. I wince, hand flying to my belly. The skin is tight, stretched. My breath comes shallow. "I need air," I say. Eli moves toward me, then stops himself like he remembers my warning. "Where are you going?" he asks, voice thin. I grab my keys again. The metal digs into my palm. Pain helps. Pain is clean. To find out what you won't tell me, I say. The drive to the clinic is a blur of streetlights and nausea. The world outside my windshield feels unreal, like a set built to look like a normal night. My hands grip the wheel so hard my forearms ache. My throat is tight with swallowed sobs. Every red light feels like torture. Every green light feels like permission. The clinic doors whoosh open and the smell hits me. Sanitizer, latex, something faintly sweet like baby powder. Fluorescent lights hum overhead, too bright, too unforgiving. The brightness makes my head throb. The waiting room is mostly empty. A couple in the corner whispers over a brochure. A woman scrolls her phone with a considered blank expression. Everyone looks calm. I feel like I'm vibrating. At the front desk, a clerk looks up, practice smile. Hi, how can I help you? My tongue feels thick, my mouth is dry. I need my records, I say. My voice sounds distant, like it belongs to someone else. She blinks. Okay. Name and date of birth? My stomach tightens. Date of birth. I give it anyway. The one I know. The one I've celebrated. The one my mother tried to change with a casual flick of her pen. The clerk types. Her nails click against the keyboard, small, sharp sounds that make my skin crawl. Click, click, click. Her expression changes, just a fraction, like a shadow passing over her face. She types again, click, click. Then she looks up at me, and her smile is gone. I'm sorry, she says. This file is restricted. Restricted. The word hits me like cold water. My fingers curl around the edge of the counter. My nails press in. What do you mean restricted? I ask. Her eyes flick away to the screen, then back to me. I can't access it without authorization. I am the authorization, I say, and my voice rises. I hate that it does, but I can't stop it. It's my body. It's my history. The clerk lowers her voice, glancing around. Ma'am, I understand, but there are notes on the file. It's flagged. Flagged. Like I'm dangerous. Like the truth is contraband. My heart is pounding so hard it makes me lightheaded. The baby shifts, heavy, pulling. My back aches. I can feel the sweat under my bra, along my spine. Cold sweat. Fear, sweat. I swallow and taste bile. Who restricted it? I ask. The clerk's jaw tightens. I can't discuss that. I stare at her, and suddenly I'm back in my mother's house. Back in that hallway, hearing my stepfather say, real father, like my life is a secret he owns. My chest aches. Rage tangles with grief until I can't tell them apart. I feel both at once, like two hands gripping my heart and pulling in opposite directions. Why do I feel like my life is a stage? Why do I feel like everyone else got the script and I'm just improvising in the dark? I take out the court order with shaking hands and slide it across the counter. Then explain this, I whisper. The clerk's eyes drop to the paper. Her face drains a little. She doesn't touch it at first, like it might leave a stain. Finally, she picks it up, reads, and her lips press together. I can get a supervisor, she says. Do it, I say. Minutes crawl. My knee bounces uncontrollably. My fingers tap the counter in a frantic rhythm. My mouth is dry enough to crack. A supervisor comes out, a woman with tired eyes and a badge clipped to her cardigan. She looks at the court order, then at me, and her expression shifts into something like pity. I'm sorry, she says, voice careful. There are legal restrictions on parts of your file. We cannot release them at this desk. Why? My voice breaks. My eyes burn. Why would my file, my birth, be restricted? The supervisor's gaze flicks to the clerk, then back. There was an amendment, she says, choosing each word like it's fragile. Years ago. Amendment, legal erasure. My stomach turns. You mean someone changed it? I whisper. The supervisor doesn't answer directly. She doesn't have to. My lungs feel too small. Who? I say. One syllable. All teeth. I can't disclose that, she repeats, the same line in a different mouth. My hand goes to my belly again. The baby kicks and it makes my eyes sting because this tiny person is real and my own origin feels like a redacted document. I look at the supervisor and my voice comes out thin, raw. My stepfather, I say. Did he do this? Her eyes widen slightly. A tell, not confirmation, but not denial. My heart drops. My stepfather didn't just marry my mother. He filed paperwork. He went to court, he erased someone who made me. I'm shaking now, full body, my knees feel weak. I lean against the counter to stay upright. The supervisor reaches into a drawer, pulls out a form. You can submit a formal request, she says gently. It will take time. Time. The word makes me want to scream. I want answers now. I want the truth to stop hiding behind paper and policies and polite voices. But my throat is tight, and all that comes out is a hoarse whisper. Okay, I say. Give it to me. She slides the form across. As I take it, a nurse passes behind the desk, scrubs, soft shoes, a tired face that suddenly pauses when she sees me. Her eyes meet mine. Something shifts there. Recognition, or memory, or warning. She walks closer, like she's just doing her job, like this is casual. But her hand slips a small, folded note onto the counter beside my form, quick as a heartbeat. Her fingers brush mine, and her voice is barely a breath. Ask for Dr. Sato, she murmurs, remember? She remembers your mother. Then she's gone, disappearing into the bright hallway like she was never there. I stare at the folded paper. My fingers tremble as I pick it up, and for the first time tonight, something cuts through my fear, sharp, clear. Hope. Not the soft kind, the dangerous kind. The note is damp at the edges from my sweat. Paper that has absorbed my panic like it's a sponge. Ask for Dr. Sato. She remembers your mother. I read it again in the car with the dome light on, my breath fogging the windshield from the inside. My hands are still trembling, but the tremor has changed. It's not just fear now, it's direction. I call the clinic, once, twice. My voice sounds too calm to be mine. Hi, I say. I need to speak with Dr. Sato. They transfer me. Then another transfer. Then a pause long enough for my heart to crawl up into my throat and live there. A woman answers, her voice is clipped, professional, tired. This is Dr. Sato. I grip the steering wheel so hard, the leather creaks. My name is Mara, I say. You don't know me, but someone told me to ask for you. They said you remember my mother. Silence. Not empty. Heavy. Like she's putting pieces together. I don't discuss patients, she says finally. I'm not asking you to, I whisper. I'm asking you to tell me why my file is restricted. Her exhale is audible. Slow. Meet me, she says, not at the clinic. My throat tightens. Where? There's a coffee shop across from the old courthouse, she says. Tomorrow morning, 8. If you're late, I'm gone. Then the line clicks dead. I sit there for a full minute, phone pressed to my ear, listening to nothing. My palm is sweating so much the screen slips. Tomorrow, 8. My baby kicks, a steady thump like a fist against a door. I press my hand to my belly and close my eyes. Okay, I whisper. I'm listening. The next morning tastes like burnt coffee and nerves. I barely sleep. Every time I drift off, I see my stepfather's face in that hallway light. I hear his voice saying real father like he's holding a knife by the handle and showing me the blade. At 7:52, I'm sitting in the coffee shop with my back to the wall, a paper cup sweating under my fingers. The place smells like espresso and cinnamon and damp winter coats. The music is low, meant to disappear. I can't disappear. My whole body feels too bright, too loud, like my skin is a thin sheet and every emotion is visible beneath it. Dr. Sato walks in at exactly 8 o'clock. She's smaller than I imagined. Gray streaks at her temples, a scarf wrapped tight, eyes that scan the room like she's measuring exits. When she sees me, she doesn't smile. She doesn't hesitate. She sits. Her hands wrap around her cup like she needs the heat. You're her daughter, she says. It's not a question. My throat tightens so hard it feels like I'm swallowing needles. Yes, I say. Apparently. Her eyes flick to my belly. Not judgmental, just aware. I'm not supposed to do this, she says quietly. Then don't, I say, and my voice cracks. But please, tell me why my life is in a locked drawer. Her gaze holds mine for a long beat. Then she nods once, like she's made a decision she'll regret later. There was a protected file, she says. Years ago. It wasn't standard medical care. It was a program run through a clinic that shouldn't have existed. My fingers tighten around my cup. A fertility program, she continues. They called it donation. They called it helping. But it was messy, unregulated. And some of the donors, she pauses, jaw tightening. Some of the donors were not anonymous, they were selected, connected. Connected. The word rings in my skull like a bell. Connected to my stepfather's circle. My heart stutters. My mouth goes dry. My mother. I start, then choke on the word mother. She used it? Dr. Sato's eyes soften just a fraction. She was young, desperate. She thought she was buying a future? My nails dig into the paper cup until it dents. And the donor reminded wasn't anonymous, I say, my voice barely above air. Dr. Sato nods. My stomach rolls. My breath turns shallow. The world tilts in a slow, sickening way. Like I've been standing on a stage set and someone finally showed me the plywood behind the painted walls. Who? I whisper. Dr. Sato shakes her head immediately. I can't give you a name. I'm sorry. A laugh bursts out of me. Short, ugly. Everyone's sorry. Everyone can't. Everyone has reasons. Dr. Sato doesn't flinch. She just watches me, eyes steady. Your file was sealed because a scandal broke, she says. There were investigations, lawsuits, records disappeared. Some families paid to make problems go away. Paid. My jaw clenches. My stepfather, I say, and it comes out like a curse. Dr. Sato's silence is the answer. I feel heat crawl up my neck. My ears ring. My heart pounds so hard I can feel it in my fingertips. What did he do? I ask. Dr. Sato's voice drops. He didn't just adopt you, he corrected things. Legally. He made sure the paperwork reflected what he wanted it to reflect. My vision blurs. I blink hard. He erased someone, I whisper. Dr. Sato nods once. Yes. My hand goes to my belly again. Reflex. My baby shifts, a slow stretch. My body feels suddenly ancient, like my cells are remembering something my mind was never allowed to know. Bloodline, legacy. It all snaps into place, sick and neat. My stepfather's public smile, his insistence on control, the way my mother flinched at the word real. And the dinner. The guest, Eli's boss sitting at our table like a judge. I taste bile. My stepfather is running for office, I say, mostly to myself. He's been talking about it for months. The community, family values, stability. Dr. Sato's mouth tightens. If this comes out, it could destroy that. Destroy! The word should make me feel powerful. It makes me feel nauseated. Because I'm not trying to destroy him, I'm trying to exist. He has a business, I say, voice shaking, and an inheritance he keeps talking about like it's sacred, like it's owed. Renwei. He believes in bloodline, Dr. Sato says quietly. Some men do. They think it's the only thing that makes them real. I stare at her. And my fiancé? The word fiancé tastes like ash now. Why did he change overnight? Dr. Sato's eyes sharpen slightly. That's not my area. But she knows something. I can see it in the way her fingers tighten around her cup. I swallow hard. My stepfather spoke to him. Then Eli wouldn't look at me. Dr. Sato's voice is careful. If your stepfather has legal leverage believed tied to your identity records, he could threaten anyone close to you with complications. Work, reputation, custody matters once the baby is born. Custody. The word sends a cold spear through me. My hand flattens protectively over my belly. The baby kicks, harder, like a warning, like a demand. Fight! I inhale slowly through my nose, tasting coffee in panic. So he threatened Eli, I whisper. Dr. Sato doesn't deny it. Rage rises in me, hot, shaking, pure. It burns through the grief like a flare. Eli let himself be scared. Renwei, and my mother. My mother helped. I sit back, the chair creaking under me, and for a second I feel dizzy, like I'm floating above my body, watching a woman with hollow eyes and too tight shoulders. I force myself back down into my skin. Okay, I say. Dr. Sato watches me. Okay? I nod, my voice steadies. That scares me too. Okay, I repeat. No screaming, no begging, no more asking permission to know who I am. Dr. Sato's gaze holds mine, like she's measuring the shape of my resolve. What are you going to do? She asks. I exhale. I think about my stepfather's smile. My mother's pen changing my birthday like it was nothing. Eli's hands on the steering wheel, white-knuckled, lying to me in the name of protection. I think about my baby kicking, alive inside my body, real and innocent. I'm going to get receipts, I say. Dr. Sato's eyebrows lift slightly. Legally, I add, my jaw tightening. Slowly, like a paper cut that doesn't stop bleeding. My hands stop shaking. Not because I'm calm, because I'm focused. I pull out my phone and start a note. Dates, times, names, the dinner, the envelope, the clerk's words, restricted. Dr. Sato across from me in a coffee shop at 8:07 a.m. First, I say, I'll file formal requests, every record I can, birth, court, clinic. I'll build a trail they can't deny. Dr. Sato's lips press together. That will take time. I have time, I lie. I don't, but I will make time. Second, I say, I'll get a lawyer, someone who handles identity records, someone who knows sealed files. Dr. Sato nods once, approving. Third, I continue, voice low. I'll document everything, every message, every call. Every time my mother tells me to keep peace, and my stepfather pretends it's love, I'll save it all. Dr. Sato's gaze flicks around the shop. Be careful, she murmurs. Some people don't like being exposed. I'm not exposing them, I say, and the words feel like steel leaving my mouth. They exposed me. They cut my name open and stitched it back wrong. I'm just taking the bandage off. Dr. Sato exhales slowly. And your mother? My chest aches at the word. She'll try to fix it, I say. She'll cry, she'll beg, she'll offer something. As if summoned by my prediction, my phone buzzes. Mom. The screen lights up with her name and a little heart emoji she added months ago, back when it still meant something. My stomach tightens. I stare at it until it stops ringing. Another buzz. A text. Sweetheart, please come by today. Avoid drama. We can help you. We can make this right. Make this right. They always think right means quiet. I type nothing. I breathe. Dr. Sato watches me like she's waiting to see if I'll crumble. I won't. My phone buzzes again. Another text comes in, and my pulse jumps because it isn't my mother this time. It's Eli. Please talk to me. You're scaring me. You're scaring me. I almost laugh again, but this time it's hollow. I'm scaring him, not the lies, not the control, not the threats, me wanting the truth. I set the phone down gently, like it's fragile. I'm going to set a trap, I say softly, surprising even myself. Dr. Sato's eyebrows lift. A trap? A meeting, I say. A family meeting. Neutral, calm, mediator. The kind of thing my mother loves because she can pretend it's healthy. Dr. Sato's eyes narrow slightly. But it won't be a mediator, I continue. It'll be my attorney and a witness. My hands are steady now, my voice too. Dr. Sato leans back a little, studying me. And what if your mother tries to buy your silence? She asks. The question lands in my gut like a stone, because I can already feel it coming. I can practically smell it. The perfume, the sweet voice, the word sweetheart used like a leash. Money, housing, safety, all with strings attached. I won't sign anything, I say. No NDA, no name change. Dr. Sato's gaze flicks to my belly again. And if they offer you a home? She asks quietly. My throat tightens, because the thought of stability, real stability, tugs at the weakest part of me. The part that's tired, the part that's scared, the part that wants to curl up and be taken care of for once. But then I think about my stepfather's voice. Lose everything. I think about my file being restricted. I think about my mother changing my birthday. Home isn't a place if it requires surrender. My baby will have my name, I whisper. Dr. Sato nods, slow. Good, she says, because they will try. My phone buzzes again. This time it's a new number. Unknown. A chill slides down my spine. My fingers hover, then I answer because curiosity is a blade and I can't stop myself. Hello? A man's voice. Smooth, careful, too controlled. Mara, he says. My stomach drops. I pull the phone away slightly, staring at it like it's poison. Who is this? I ask. A pause, then softly. Someone who cares about your future. You need to stop pulling on threads. My breath catches, my heart slams. I end the call. My hands are shaking again, but not with fear. Anger. Pure, sharp anger. Dr. Sato's eyes are on me. What happened? Someone just warned me to stop, I whisper. Dr. Sato's face tightens. Then they know you started. I swallow hard. Outside the window, the courthouse stands like a dull gray block. Paper and law and silence. But paper cuts, and law can be used both ways. I leave the coffee shop with my coat zipped up too tight, my belly heavy, my mind buzzing. By noon, I'm sitting in an attorney's office with carpet that smells like dust and lemon polish. Just like my mother's house, only this time the polish belongs to me. The attorney's name is Dana Klein. Her handshake is firm, her eyes are sharp. She listens without interrupting, pen moving quickly over a legal pad. I tell her everything. The court order, the restricted file, the donor file, the dinner. Mr. Hale, Eli's sudden distance, my mother changing my birthday. Dana doesn't gasp, she doesn't pity me, she just nods, slow, and says, "Okay." That word, "okay," lands like a plank bridging a gap. "We can request sealed records," she says. "It takes time, but we can petition, we can subpoena, depending, remember, on jurisdiction, and we can build a timeline." Timeline, receipts, quiet, surgical revenge. Dana's phone rings while I'm still in her office. She steps aside to answer. Her voice drops low, professional. Then she returns, her expression unreadable. She sits across from me, folds her hands. "We got a hit," she says. My heart jumps into my throat. Dana's eyes lock on mine. "We found a name associated with your biological father file," she says slowly. "And it's someone your fiancé already knows." The conference room smells like iced water and money. Not literal money, just the kind of air that's been filtered so many times it forgets what real breathing feels like. The carpet is thick enough to swallow footsteps. The table is long, glossy, reflecting the lights overhead like a calm lake that could drown you if you lean too far. Dana sits beside me, still as stone, a legal pad open, a folder stacked in front of her like a wall. In front of me, paper. So much paper. Copies, requests, timelines, screenshots, the court order, a printout from the clinic request with the word restricted highlighted. My mother's messages, Eli's, a photo of the envelope with no return address, receipts, quiet weapons. My palms are damp. I wipe them on my thighs under the table. The baby shifts low, a heavy pull that makes my back ache. I breathe through it slowly, lips pressed together until I taste the faint salt of my own skin. I promise myself no screaming. I didn't promise myself no shaking. The door opens. My stepfather enters like he owns the building. Suit, tie, perfect hair. That polished smile already warmed up and ready to be admired. He glances at me the way you glance at a chair you're about to move. An object. A problem. Something in the way. My mother follows behind him, and she looks small. Her hands clutch her purse too tight. Her lipstick is perfect, but her eyes are swollen like she cried, and then tried to erase it with concealer in denial. She doesn't look at me at first. She looks at the table, at the folders, at the evidence. Her throat bobs when she swallows. Eli comes in last. Unexpected. The moment I see him, my skin goes cold. He looks sick. Not sick like a flu. Sick like guilt has been eating him from the inside, and now it's crawling up his throat. His face is pale, his eyes ringed with darkness, his shoulders hunched like he's carrying something heavy and sharp. He doesn't sit right away. He stands near the door like he's unsure he deserves a chair. My stepfather's voice breaks the silence, smooth and casual. "Well," he says, glancing around as if amused. "This is dramatic." My stomach twists. Dramatic. That word, my mother's favorite leash. Dana's voice is calm. "We're here to clarify records and address legal concerns." My stepfather smiles wider. "Legal concerns." He chuckles softly like it's cute. "Mara, sweetheart." "Don't," I say. One syllable. His smile freezes for Renway a fraction of a second. I feel my pulse in my fingertips. My mother flinches. Eli's eyes flick to me like he's been struck. I keep my voice low because low is sharper than loud. "Don't call me sweetheart," I say. "Not today." Silence spreads. My stepfather settles into a chair anyway. Crossing one leg over the other, hands folded. Calm, in control. The same posture he wore at dinner when he talked about legacy like it was scripture. My mother sits slowly, her knees pressed together. Her fingers twist the strap of her purse until her knuckles whiten. Eli takes the seat farthest from my stepfather. He finally looks at me. Really looks. His eyes are wet. My throat tightens. I hate that my body still reacts to his pain. I hate that part of me still wants to reach across the table and comfort him, even now. Even after he held the truth above my head and called it protection. Dana slides a document forward. We'll begin with a request to amend identity records, she says. There are discrepancies. My stepfather leans back. There are no discrepancies. Everything was handled properly. Handled, like I'm a transaction. I pick up the court order and place it flat on the table in front of him. The paper makes a soft sound against the polished surface. My hand is steady. My voice is not. Explain this, I say. My stepfather glances down, barely. His expression doesn't change. It makes my skin itch. That, he says, is a private matter from a long time ago. It has nothing to do with your current situation. My stomach clenches. The baby kicks once, firm and impatient. I inhale slowly through my nose. It has everything to do with me, I say, because it's my name on it. My mother makes a small sound, half gasp, half sob swallowed back. I look at her, finally. Her eyes meet mine for a second, then drop. Her cheeks are damp. She wipes them quickly, embarrassed. Mom, I say, and my voice cracks around the word. You looked me in the eyes my whole life and told me my father left. Her lips tremble. My stepfather interjects smoothly. Your mother did what she had to do to give you stability. Stability. There it is again. Stability is the word they use when they mean silence. Dana opens another folder, lays out a printed timeline. This court order indicates an amendment to parentage records, she says now. It coincides with the period your client's medical file became restricted. My stepfather's smile tightens. And restricted files exist for many reasons. Not like this, Dana says. I slide another page across the table, highlighted notes, dates, a recorded summary of my denied request. The words flagged, restricted, protected file. My stepfather's jaw tightens, the first real crack. Eli's hands are clasped so tight in his lap, his fingers are turning pale. My mother's breathing is shallow, almost silent. I feel my own heartbeat like a drum behind my ribs. I feel the baby shift again, a slow roll like it's turning toward the sound of my voice. I look at my stepfather. I force the words out. I know about the donor file. My stepfather's eyes sharpen. My mother's breath catches. Eli squeezes his eyes shut, like he can't bear hearing it said out loud. My stepfather's voice stays calm, but it's colder now. You don't know what you're talking about. I tilt my head slightly. Don't I? Dana slides a printed statement forward, typed, clean. A summary of an archived report we obtained through legal requests and corroboration. Not everything, but enough. My stepfather glances down. For the first time, his hand twitches. My throat burns. A laugh threatens, but it's not humor. It's disbelief. It's the sheer shock of seeing him, this man who filled my childhood with rules, react like he's the one cornered. He looks up at me, and there's a flash in his eyes. Anger. Not loud. Dangerous. This is not for you to dig into, he says quietly. I lean forward slightly, belly heavy, spine aching. My voice is low and even. I'm not digging, I say. I'm retrieving what you buried. My mother makes a sound like she's about to speak, then stops herself. Dana's voice stays level. There are potential reporting obligations to regulators and professional boards based on the archived report and witness statement. My stepfather's face hardens. He sits up straighter. You won't, he says, looking at me like I'm a child again, like I'm still 5 and holding a broken crayon. You'll ruin your mother, he adds softly. My chest tightens. The words land exactly where he intends. I glance at my mother. Her eyes are glossy. She looks like she's splitting in two. I swallow hard. Then I look back at him. No, I say. You already did. My mother lets out a broken sob, and then, like a reflex, she reaches into her purse and pulls out a manila envelope. My stomach drops. She slides it toward me with trembling hands. Sweetheart, she whispers, her voice is raw now, stripped of performance. Please. We can fix this. We can make it right. You can come home. We'll help you. We'll pay for everything. You don't have to struggle. The envelope is thick, money thick. My fingers hover above it, but don't touch. I look at her. What is that? Her lips tremble. An agreement, she says, just something to protect the family, to protect you. Protect. Always protect. Dana doesn't move. She watches. My stepfather's face is blank, but his eyes are hard. I slide the envelope back without opening it. I'm not signing anything, I say. My mother's voice breaks. Mara, please. I'm not signing an NDA, I continue. I'm not taking hush money, and I'm not giving my baby his last name. My stepfather's eyes flash. My mother's face crumples. It's just a name, she whispers. My blood runs cold. Just a name. That's what they stole from me. That's what they rewrote. That's the problem, I say quietly. You've been acting like names are just accessories. Things you can change when they're inconvenient. My mother shakes her head, tears falling. I did it to keep you safe. I feel something crack in me, but it's not breaking anymore. It's opening. Safe from what? I ask. From the truth. From a man you chose. From the consequences of what you did. My mother's mouth opens. Nothing comes out. Eli finally speaks. His voice is hoarse. He told me, he says, staring at the table. Your stepdad told me if I stayed with you, my career would be over. He said there were legal issues tied to your records and that it would turn considered messy, that I could lose everything, that we could have custody complications. Custody complications. The phrase makes my stomach clench so hard I almost gag. Eli looks up then, eyes wet. I panicked. I thought keeping you calm was protecting you. I stare at him. My heart hurts in a dull, deep way. But there's also rage. Clean rage. Because his fear cost me my right to know. Dana reaches over, taps a folder. We also have your text messages, she says calmly. The ones where you negotiated for silence in exchange for career protection. Eli's face drains. He whispers, I didn't. Dana's eyes stay sharp. You did. Eli's shoulders slump. He looks like he's folding in on himself. My stepfather clears his throat. He tries to regain the room. This is ridiculous, he says. We can settle this privately. Mara, you're emotional. You're pregnant. You're being influenced. I feel the baby kick again. Hard. Like a foot against my palm. I press my hand to my belly. And then I look at him, and something in me goes strangely calm. Because I see it now. He doesn't see me as a person. He sees me as a risk. A loose thread. A liability. I'm not being influenced, I say, voice steady. I'm being informed. Dana slides the petition paperwork forward. Here's the legal pathway to amend records, she says. And here are the steps to unseal relevant documents through the appropriate process. My stepfather's eyes narrow. You won't win. I tilt my head slightly. Maybe not fast, I say. But you taught me something growing up. He looks at me, suspicious. You taught me rules matter, I say. And paper matters. And that the truth always shows up eventually, whether you want it or not. My mother suddenly makes a small choking sound. She puts a hand to her mouth, eyes squeezed shut. I wasn't only protecting him, she whispers. The room goes still. Even my stepfather turns slightly toward her, his eyes sharp. My mother's voice is thin, trembling. I've done this before. My stomach drops. My hand tightens over my belly. What? I whisper. My mother's eyes open, and there's something in them I've never seen. Shame so heavy, it looks like it believes it deserves punishment. There was someone before, she says. A mistake, a file, a secret. Her breath shudders. You're not the first. The words hit me like a wave. I feel dizzy. My ears ring. Not the first, so my whole life has been built on a pattern. Not an accident, a method, a habit, a choice. My stepfather's voice is sharp. Stop talking. My mother flinches, but then shockingly, she doesn't stop. Her chin lifts slightly. Tears keep falling, but her voice steadies just enough to be devastating. I'm tired, she whispers. I'm tired of being afraid. I stare at her. Part of me wants to reach across the table and hold her. Another part wants to stand up and walk out and never let her touch my child. Both parts are mine. Both are real. I inhale, slow, and the air feels like it scrapes my throat. Dana's hand touches my arm lightly, grounding. Permission. I look at my stepfather. He's still sitting there, but something about him looks smaller now. Not physically. Internally. Like the room no longer belongs to him. He opens his mouth to speak, to regain control, to use that calm voice like a blade. But I stand. The chair slides back with a soft scrape. The sound feels loud. Everyone's eyes snap to me. My back aches. My belly is heavy. My throat is tight. But my voice is steady when it comes out. "I'm done," I say. My stepfather scoffs. "You can't be." I look at him, and my lips curve in the smallest smile. Not kind, not cruel, just finished. "I already am," I say. I gather my papers slowly. Not frantic, not messy. I take the petition, the timeline, the court order, my life, in a stack. Eli stands halfway like he wants to stop me, like he wants to apologize again, like he wants to be forgiven before he's earned it. "Mara," he whispers. I don't look at him, because if I do, I'll feel it too much, and I can't afford that right now. I look at my mother once. She's crying silently now, shoulders shaking. I don't tell her it's okay, because it's not. But I also don't spit venom, because I refuse to remember what hurt me. I step toward the door with Dana beside me. The carpet swallows our footsteps, but I feel each one like a heartbeat. At the threshold, I pause. My hand rests on my belly. The baby moves, soft, alive. I turn back, just enough for them to hear me clearly. "You don't get to rewrite me anymore," I say. Then I walk out. The hallway outside that conference room is warmer. The air feels thicker, like real oxygen again, not filtered reputation. My hands are still shaking, but the shaking is different now, like my body is draining poison. Dana's heels click away down the hall, already on the next step, the next form, the next signature that turns my life back into mine. I'm alone for a second, palm pressed to my belly, feeling the baby move like a small insistence. Alive. Mine. Healing isn't a soft word. It isn't candles and affirmations and pretending it didn't hurt. Healing is the moment you stop offering your throat to people who keep tightening the leash. Healing is choosing truth even when it costs you the fantasy of being loved the way you beg to be loved. Because forgiveness on demand is just another trap. I can feel it in my chest. That old pull, the urge to go back, to smooth things over, to make it easier for everyone else. That instinct was trained into me. A lifetime of keep the peace lodged in my bones like shrapnel. But secrets don't grow in silence by accident, Theo. They thrive in families that weaponize shame. They feed it to you like medicine. They tell you it's for your own good, while they build a life on top of your missing pieces. And protection that requires silence? That isn't protection. That's control in a softer voice. I learned that the hard way. Through paperwork, through restricted files, through a man I trusted, using fear as an excuse to hold the truth away from me. So this is my revenge. Not screaming, not breaking things, not begging them to finally see me. My revenge is building stability they can't touch. Legally, so my name is mine on every page that matters. Financially, so no envelope of money can buy my quiet. Emotionally, so my child never learns love as a bargain. I keep my hand on my stomach and breathe slow, deep, like I'm teaching my body a new language, one without permission, one without fear. If this story hit close to home, subscribe for more revenge and betrayal stories, where justice is smart, not cruel. Comment where you're watching from and what time it is. Your messages are read, and if you've ever had someone hide the truth because they believed it was best, remember this: your life is yours to name.